When I think back, like way, way back, to my earliest memories of eating out, I always think of Chili's. We would go as a family a few times a month while I was growing up. When I was in kindergarten, I opted for a standard grilled cheese off the kids' menu. When I got a little older, maybe the chicken crispers, and by middle school, I had graduated to the adults' menu. I knew my dad's drink order, a Cadillac margarita. I remember the old promotions, the 2 meals for $20 deal, the baby back ribs jingle. I remember the kids' take-home cups that we would use to measure dog food at the house. And then we stopped going. My childhood Chili's in Milpitas, California closed. Years passed since the last time I grabbed a pepper-shaped handle and walked through the doors. That is, until today. This is Slow Casual, a podcast about America's favorite chain restaurants. In each episode, we take a look at a different, casual, sit-down dining franchise. We order a meal, take a look at the business's performance, and share the whole experience. This is episode 1, all about Chili's. Founded in 1975, Chili's Bar and Grill has expanded from its initial Dallas location. The dining establishment has over 1,200 locations in the U.S. and 374 restaurants abroad, according to Statista. And even though I haven't been to a Chili's in almost 5 years, the chain is doing pretty well. The chain's revenue increased 7.9% year over year as of 2023 to $4.1 billion. Also worth noting, Brinker International is Chili's parent company. They also own Maggiano's Little Italy. But first, I should introduce myself. My name is Caitlin Milliken. I'm a business journalist turned marketer. So when I read about companies' quarterly and annual performances, I genuinely get excited. I watched one YouTube video about Red Lobster 2 months ago and thought, yeah, whatever happened to that place? And Chili's, Denny's, IHOP, BJ's, TGI Fridays, the rest. What's become of the classic American dining experience? Why haven't I been to any of these restaurants in years, and are they even worth going to in the 2020s? Then I did what I always do and texted my best friend, Michelle Garlett. This was the message that started it all. And I quote, "I'm being possessed by a stupid idea that involves a Chili's." And in that thread, this show was born. Michelle and I have known each other since high school and are coming up on 15 years of friendship. In addition to enabling my spontaneous content whims, Michelle is my resident foodie. She knows how to cook, keeps track of all the spots worth going to in San Jose, and can give a killer food review. So, with Michelle's palate and my business curiosity, we met in the parking lot of a Chili's in San Jose, California. Anyway, we're just going to start fresh. We're in the Mazda. We're talking about Chili's because that's where we're going tonight. What do you think of when you think of Chili's?
Subpar Mexican food. Tex-Mex. Okay, because it's not Mexican food. To call it Mexican food is like an insult to Mexican food and also what it is.
I always think of Southwest egg rolls, the fajitas, margaritas, because we used to go a lot when I was growing up. And my dad loved the Cadillac margarita. And it was like a really great option when we were young because they had a kids menu with like predictable fare for picky children.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Did you guys go growing up, or was that not your thing?
Occasionally, I think it was like in our unit. So the thing is, like, we kind of are, I don't know how to say this in a not snobby way, foodies. I mean, now especially with like the emergence of like TikTok and Instagram Reels and such, like we go like really hole in the box places. But even when I was growing up, like we used to go to, I don't know if you've heard of it, Sonia's. Like they did these, like, it's a tiny little hole in the wall place that does cheesesteaks. And like, yeah, we were really like, and that was kind of how I was raised by my parents. So like we would occasionally go to these places, but like even then it was in the rotation. But like we go here, we go to Chili's, we go to like Olive Garden, and we'd like go to Applebee's, like if my parents weren't down to cook.
I guess my second question for you is, you know how McDonald's is fast food?
Mm-hmm.
What category do you think Chili's falls into?
I guess Because it's almost like fast casual.
So you're really close. The actual term for it is slow casual.
Oh.
So let's think about like restaurants broadly.
Yeah.
McDonald's is fast food
Yes.
because you order at the counter, you get the food yourself, and you consider you can leave. And then the next chain is like the Chili's and stuff of the world, which are considered slow casual dining, which is all of the restaurants I picked out for us to go to. And we chose Chili's first because it's the most iconic.
Truly iconic and also dying.
Well, perfect segue.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. How do you think Chili's is doing in the year of our Lord 2024? Like financially
Poorly.
performing as a business. You think poorly? Why do you think they're performing
They
poorly?
have to be doing poorly because the thing is they, especially with how expensive food is getting and like eating out and all that, they cannot keep their prices at a reasonable level to the people who they like want to be coming to their restaurant.
So I'm going to blow your mind.
Oh.
We are going to Chili's in August 2024, and Chili's last quarter was really, really profitable.
Really?
Yes. So they had a rise of like 14.8% year over year same store sales, which is
Okay.
basically like you sit down and it's all the sales they make for people eating at the restaurant. And that's a lot higher than competitors. And there was also a
Wow.
5.9% boost in customer traffic year over year. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but it's not just this past quarter. Chili's Bar and Grill in 2023, because I read their 10K. It's like a 75-page document on the SEC website because I'm a nerd.
Oh, that's so much fun.
I know. I was like just doing it on a Friday afternoon in a fugue state before I drove here, also in a fugue state. But basically in 2023, Chili's annual revenue was $4.1 billion with a B dollars for the chain. And that's specifically for Chili's. Actually, Chili's is owned by a parent company that also owns Maggiano's.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that actually makes sense because I've seen their gift cards. You know how they do like the little joint gift cards and like joint with Maggiano's. And I'm like, wow, are these people friends? But okay, that makes sense.
So why do you think that this has been profitable? And you're really on the same thread because when I tell you the reason, it's really adjacent to what you said.
Okay, so I'm going to say that I think people are doing it for the memes. Like, I really think it's the millennial meme energy. And also because, like, I'm thinking of, like, what recent collabs they had. They recently had a collab. And it's still on the menu. I did look at the menu because I'm me. The band, like 2 stars from the reality program Vanderpump Rules, like made an espresso martini, and like I'm trying to make like it's millennials who like love that stuff.
Yeah.
So it has to be that, right?
So you're close. Marketing is a big part of it, and when we're sitting down in the restaurant, I'll talk about it a little bit more. But the big thing, and you were really close when you said prices. So like fast food has gone up, right? Mm-hmm. Like a McDonald's burger is not like the cheap fare that we remember it from when we were kids.
It's like ridiculous. You can easily spend like over $40 now.
So Chili's has leaned into the fact that if they offer food that's maybe like a little bit more than fast food, not by much, but better quality, that they can compete with the fast food category. And the big thing, one of the things I texted you about being like, we have to get it, is the Big Smasher meal.
Okay.
So it's $10.99.
That's really good, actually.
It's really good. It's a McDonald's-style burger where it's got like Thousand Island dressing. Mm-hmm. It's like smashed on the grill the way those types of burgers traditionally are.
Yeah.
And that accounted for 60% of the like revenue growth this past quarter.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually, okay. That actually makes sense. Because the thing is, it's so expensive. Like, it's like fast food. So my dad loves the caramel macchiatos from McDonald's. And like, so I'm there with frequency. And I like order ahead on my little app. And so when you order ahead on the app and you're waiting, you can see what the other people in the other drive-through lane are ordering.
That's super weird.
Which is super weird, and like, but it's also funny and also blows my mind because I swear, like yesterday I went and this person next to me, they ordered like $65 worth of McDonald's, and like for reference right now, Happy Meal is like $6.
Yeah, so if you're gonna get like the cheap thing from McDonald's, it's the value menu dollar or whatever it is now burger, which is it's much worse than the like other more premium options, which is very similar in price to what a burger costs at Chili's.
Yeah.
The Big Smasher. I also hate that I'm going to be saying the words Big Smasher 1,000 times.
Oh yeah, when you texted me that, I was like, is this a movie? Is this a, like I was like the Big Smasher.
Well, it's a part of the 3 for Me deal where you get bottomless non-alcoholic drink.
Okay.
And unlimited chips and dip, I think. So it's one of those things where like they're pulling people in because not only are you getting more than a better burger for a somewhat comparable price, you're also getting these extras. And once you get the McDonald's burger, the McDonald's fries, which are not unlimited, and the McDonald's soft drink, you're probably getting close, if not exceeding that $10.99, and you're not getting table service, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And this would be and because it's table service, there is the possibility or theoretic thought that this is going to be higher quality. Like this is a better quality meal than a fast food burger.
Exactly. The other thing to note is that, like, TikTok marketing, the triple dipper went viral, so people are going for the memes.
Okay, it is the memes, the millennial memes energy.
So the triple dipper went viral on TikTok, apparently because of, like, in-restaurant reviews, people doing mukbangs, like, where they get a bunch of stuff and they eat it to ASMR, which I don't want to watch, and I'm not going to put any of those overlay sounds here, but it made it go viral, and the content has over 30 million views and accounted for 40% of the gain, allegedly.
Wow.
Or 40% of the gain just about in May.
Okay.
So it's a combination of that. And the last reason why the company is doing well is operational costs, which I'll talk about when we get inside.
Ooh.
I think I'm ready to go inside.
I'm ready. Dun, dun, dun. I'm DTF, down to feast.
Oh my God. Okay, here we go then. Chili's has 4 areas of innovation. It's one of their changes. Let me see if I can remember them. I'm also scrolling through my notes. It is... Okay, so they're core 4. These are like how they're structuring their menu, how they're structuring their innovation.
Yeah.
Our burgers, which we're already getting with the 3 for Me. The crispers. So I think we should definitely get the honey chipotle chicken crispers. How does that sound?
Ooh, okay, I'm down.
Fajitas, which we can discuss when we do our main orders, and a
Yes.
margarita. So we're getting 2 of the 4 for sure. If we get the crispers and the margarita. So what else do we want in the triple dipper?
I feel like Southwestern egg rolls.
That's a classic.
Is a classic.
Let's do it.
And I think that's really what I have an opinion on. Do you want to do boneless wings, big mouth bites, or fried mozzarella?
Let's either get the mozzarella or the wings,
Okay.
because we're getting the big smasher, which I need to find on this menu.
It is in the middle.
Do you know what you want to eat for food-wise?
Yeah, I think I can do fajitas, right?
You could do whatever you want.
I'm good with fajitas.
Yes, I think we are ready. Can I do the 3 for Me, please? And can I upgrade to the frozen classic margarita? And for the starter, can I do chips and salsa, and then the big smasher burger? Yes, that sounds great.
Okay, and then could I please get the mango mambo margarita? And then I think we're gonna get the triple dipper.
Yes. We said the Southwestern egg rolls, the honey chipotle chicken crispers, and the
Boneless wings?
boneless wings.
Yes, could I actually have the sizzling fajitas? And I would like the shrimp.
All right. So, you want to talk about innovation?
Yes, innovation.
So I am uniquely qualified to talk about innovation because I used to work for an innovation magazine for 3 years, I think, in total. So I know I mentioned that the big 4, like the core 4, are margaritas, fajitas,
Yeah. Burgers.
yes, and
Chicken crispers?
crispers. So those are the big 4. So you may not remember this because you weren't a Chili's family, but the Chili's menu used to be huge.
No, I do remember this. Like, we were actually, so when I looked at the menu earlier today with my mom and dad, when I told them about we were doing this, they were saying, wow, the menu is so much shorter. It's like tiny compared to what it once was.
Yes. So when current Brinker International, which is the parent company, CEO Kevin Hochman took the reins, they decreased the amount of what was on the menu. So they culled it by about 22%.
Okay.
So the big reason for that was to increase efficiency.
That makes sense.
So if you have a really big menu, right, and there's a lot of different options, it makes it hard because you have to cook all these different things, you have to order these different types of ingredients, it's a pain to store it all, like it's a lot of different steps, you have to train your staff a ton to make it work. So by making the menu smaller, there were two goals. One was to get the food to the customer quicker.
Yes.
And the second was just to like increase overall operational efficiency.
That definitely makes sense because I think that's always the biggest problem that you hear restaurants having. It's just they can't handle the diverse menu. That's part of the reason why, like, when new businesses open, they'll have like a very truncated menu. If it's even like, it's usually specialized.
Yes. And beyond that, the thing is, I think our chips are coming.
Ooh, perfect.
Thank you.
Ooh, thank you.
Thank you. Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa. So it's definitely not like a pico de gallo or like a roasted salsa that you would probably get at like a traditional Mexican restaurant. But this is definitely like not bad. I mean, it's restaurant chips. It's restaurant style tortilla chips.
It's like in the context of $10.99 for all of the things that come with it. I guess more than that because I got margarita, but it's fine. It works.
Yeah.
So they made the menu smaller to increase efficiencies. So when it comes to Chili's overall innovation strategy in the last couple years, there are different horizons of innovation. So this is where my I used to care about innovation and R&D hat comes in. So there's H1 innovation, which is basically how do we make the things that we already do better to save money and improve.
Make it more efficient, yeah.
H2 innovation would be like how do we create new offerings in the category that we already exist in.
So like the seasonal type of stuff?
Yes, to drive in bigger market share. Or like what if Chili's was like, we're really missing out on the Italian slow casual market. In a world where Brinker International doesn't own Maggiano's. They might be like, okay, we already make food, let's create Italian offerings.
Okay.
And that would be like H2 innovations.
Okay.
And H3 innovations would be like, what if Chili's was a car? So you're jumping categories, and it's like a really big shift from what you do.
Yeah.
So Chili's main innovation strategy on the core 4 is all about H1 innovation.
Yeah.
So making things faster, culling the menu. In some locations, it might be rolled out everywhere by now. They have like a burger press. So you're taking the human burger flipping out of the burger flippingness.
Oh,
so
yes.
it's uniform and the same every single time. And
Okay,
the
so
food
yeah.
comes out faster to customers.
Yeah, so it's like the factory industrialization
Yes.
type of form of that.
Exactly. And then beyond that,
Automation. The word is automation.
Yes. Beyond that, they're like, what are the things that our employees are doing that they don't need to be doing that we can cut out? So they used to have a chicken, they still sell chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
It used to be the people in the kitchen would be pounding the chicken sandwiches to make them flat, and they're not doing that anymore.
Oh, okay, so it's like the pre-made, pre-purchased versus buying the chicken pressed sort of thing.
It's just removing a step.
Yes.
They've also done the same thing when it comes to bulk buying. So Chili's used to have the skinny patty and also a lunch patty, which were not the same patty as the patty that they have for every other meal.
Huh.
So they were like, what if we didn't do that anymore?
Yeah.
And we just had one type of patty and we bought more of that. So now the kitchen staff doesn't need to find the other patties, grill the other patties. They can order in bulk, which is usually more cost effective for the one patty.
Yes.
So
they
you're
would just
saving
buy
steps.
all of the same patty rather than different patties for different times of day, theoretically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's the change they actually made, and all these little things add up to cost savings that they're putting back into the operations of the business. So it's not like they're cutting it and it's never coming back. It's sort of like they can invest it in staffing, for example.
And also with that, I think it's also a thing to be noted, especially in this time of change, the people with minimum wage being raised and how that affects the bottom line. And so whether it's going to be affected in order to keep profits up.
So that's a good point. And that leads me to another operational efficiency. Yes, this is what lives in my brain. So Chili's, part of their strategy is to retain their staff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about Red Lobster really briefly. If you go to Red Lobster, often there's like one very stressed out 20-year-old manning 10 tables.
Ooh.
They also just got a new CEO, so that might be changing.
Yeah,
But in
hopefully.
their most recent business model, that was how they did service. In Chili's, they have focused on increasing the number of staff so that they're serving fewer tables to prioritize better service. Like, look around this Chili's, which is actually very crowded.
Oh no, the since we've arrived, the waiting area has filled up.
Yeah, there are people here right now. But there's also a lot of workers. There's, I think, 2 guys at the bar.
Yes.
A number of people floating between tables, both the host seating people and the servers themselves.
Oh, and 2 hosts, which I think is pretty insane for nowadays.
Yeah, 2 hosts. And beyond that, I think our server is only serving this one section, which right now is 4 tables.
Yes.
He could be serving more, but that seems to be where his purview is. Which means that you're just getting higher quality service. So instead of McDonald's being $10-ish for the burger, possibly more if you add fries and you're out the door, they're coming to your table, the service is good. So reinvesting back in service. Beyond that, the turnover rate is lower than similar restaurants.
Yes.
And they're kind of calling
That's
it is. They're calling it an operational savings.
It is, because then you won't have to spend as much time with training. Because that was, I think, one of the biggest things with why a lot of, I think it changed why it's really hard nowadays for students to get part-time jobs during the summer, is because I know when the little 16-year-old me try to get a part-time job, they're like, we're not gonna hire you just for train you for a month, you be here a month and then leave.
Exactly. There's kind of a muscle memory into doing all of these things as well. So there's a huge...
Oh, great, perfect, thank
That
you.
looks great.
Ooh, yay.
Wow, this is pretty legit.
Yeah, okay, so so we paid, so this is $15, right?
Let me check. Good thing we kept a menu. It is $18.
$18 for
Yeah.
the triple dipper?
For the triple dipper.
Oh my gosh, it is. Okay, so to look at it from the food point of view, we got 5 boneless wings, 3 of the crispers, and then 4 halves of Southwest egg rolls. So the 2 whole Southwest egg rolls, and then 3 dips. I think cilantro, lime, and the other 2 are ranch.
I'm gonna go with probably.
Yeah.
Before we dive into that,
Yeah.
I just want to finish off.
Sorry.
No, I think this is great. I just want to finish off the staffing thing.
Yes.
So the 3-month manager turnover rate is only 5% currently at Chili's.
Oh, that's not terrible.
And the hourly turnover, so regular staff for over a 3-month period, is around 26%.
Okay.
So you're not losing the muscle memory of the employee that knows, not only have they gone through the training, they know where they keep the shrimp and what Tupperware.
Yes.
They know which bucket is for which sauce, how long to heat things up before they go out, the rotation of the tables, how to promote the specials. So you're not working as hard
Okay.
to serve the customer.
Yeah.
And it results in a better experience.
Yeah, definitely, because I think that's one of, a lot of frustrations in, eating out nowadays is service.
Yes.
I know, even for places that pride themselves on service. I'm sorry, everyone has to get used to me bringing up Disney at least 5 times, because I think even Disney, they're coming across that problem. Even in the theme parks, people are upset with the amount they're paying compared to the service they're receiving, because I think, especially with how much the you're paying to go out, you're expecting I should get white glove service. I should be treated like a goddess. I should be treated like I am your bread and your butter and your lord.
I'm actually having the opposite experience here, where I feel the service is really good.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, here it's the service is really I don't have any complaints. But I'm just saying in general, people's expectations of services has raised, or even I don't know. I
think it's stayed flat.
Yeah.
Unless you're an unreasonable person.
Yes.
But if you're a normal person, it's stayed flat.
But service has gone down.
Yeah. Service hasn't recovered, usually because places aren't staffed sufficiently.
Exactly.
But let's dive into this triple dipper.
Okay.
How do you want to start? I feel like I'm going to have you lead the eating because you're foodie, and I just read the 10K, so.
Okay, so I think we're going to start off with, let's go with the Southwestern egg rolls.
Okay, sweet.
No, actually, no, because we have two saucy things, sorry. Let's start with the boneless wings because I feel like the crispers are going to be more of an experience.
Sure. We got to go and hit that big
Okay,
three.
so first, I was going to say eat without the sauce, but no worries. So again, we got the sweet chili zing. So this would be comparable, like, I don't know if anyone's a BWW, Buffalo Wild Wings fan.
Oh, okay. BWW?
BWW. A BWW fan, but this would be comparable to their Asian zing. That's generally, sweet chili, kind of like sticky sauce, not too hot. They put it in medium. I wouldn't count this as medium. And it's very solid. It's it's a boneless wing, so it's not going to be as juicy. I think it's harder to make juicy, a boneless wing.
I think it's pretty good. But pretty good. Like, you know how sometimes, maybe this is just me, but sometimes I want exactly this.
Yes, that is correct.
This hits that craving. And it's not too spicy, which is always good.
Mm-hmm. So, and like pretty much confirmed, this is supposed to be a cilantro lime kind of crema thing. And then, ranch, correct. I think we could like assume that they probably would give you a buffalo.
That makes sense. So do we finish those or do we go to the next thing?
I would say just go to the next thing.
What's the next thing?
Okay, I think we should do the Southwest egg rolls.
Okay.
And then I think the cilantro lime would probably pair with that.
And we eat that by itself first, right? I'm learning how to eat today.
So you eat eat the thing by itself first. Okay.
That's just exactly like I remember it.
Right?
GBH, I kind of love a Southwest egg roll.
It's really good. It's up there with the avocado egg roll that you get at Cheesecake Factory.
I don't know what that is. I've been to Cheesecake Factory and even longer.
Okay, so Southwest egg rolls are like crispy flour tortillas, chicken, black beans, corn, jalapeno jack cheese.
Thank you.
Jalapeno jack cheese.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi. Thank you.
Hi, perfect. Fajitas are right here. Sorry.
I'll be right back with the burger for you guys.
Great, thank you. Oh, and then we're gonna have to deal with this sizzling, so I think everyone needs to be okay with that.
It's good. It's good for texture.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, for the Southwest egg roll, it's classic.
Okay, I'm gonna dip it in the thing.
Yeah. Dip. Cheers.
Cheers.
Great. No complaints.
I actually love the Southwest egg roll.
Right? It's really good.
Both have hit. They've been like exactly what I'm expecting.
Yeah. Definitely not complicated.
I mean, okay. Call back to my one Red Lobster experience before we do the full Red Lobster deep dive. When I was there, I remember everything being sweet, like so sweet. And I'm me. I don't like sugar all that much. I mean, I do, but
Weirdo.
not that much. And this is savory, and I'm not surprised.
Yes.
But in a good way. I'm not surprised in a good way.
Okay, mango marg is great. I'm not upset at this. And also, I love a frozen marg. That's great that you got a frozen marg.
We can share. I don't know why I said it like that.
Share. You haven't had a sip of alcohol. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Get it together, Katie.
I like that.
It's good.
It's also
What
not
do you
super
expect?
sweet.
Ooh, that's actually surprising.
Like,
for
it's the
especially
sweet
frozen
that I
marg.
like, which is on the sweeter side. It's not sweet, but it's not like sugar.
Okay. Yes.
Swap. That's good.
That's good too.
You can taste the mango in that.
You can taste the mango, and it's not. It adds sweetness to it, obviously from the mango. But
And it's
not
$6 all month, all day.
all day for the whole month. So last month was a watermelon margarita.
Makes sense for the summer.
Yes, that's what literally. I think they call it summer vacay margarita.
I love that.
And then this is the mango mambo marg, and it's same concept: triple sec, Monin mango, Humidor, silver tequila, and then fresh sour. I think you can kind of tell that they use fresh sour, which is actually really nice.
So-
Nice touch.
The Chili's bar.
Yes.
I watched a YouTube video that shall not be named that I was actually kind of disappointed in the overall production quality in. I know. But they were talking about the bar and saying Chili's margaritas use mix and that's why they're so cheap. which I'm not mad about. If they're making the mix themselves and they're serving a ton of people every day, and their whole thing is be fast, I appreciate the dedication to consistency. Maybe that's me being simple. But this was a $4 margarita and not a $14 margarita.
Well, I mean, I think if you for your margarita, you have to also factor in that the cost of a soda. So this is technically probably about an $8 margarita that you're drinking.
Sure.
Versus mine,
which is still cheap for a margarita.
Which is still very cheap. And mine is $6, which is like extremely cheap for like a mixed drink at anywhere.
Beyond that, they do have like your margarita having like fresh sweet and sour. Mm-hmm. That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
And then they have like the Patron margaritas. They have different ones that are upgraded. Mm-hmm. So it's not all mixed. It's actually a good variety. There's also a lot of TikToks right now when you were talking about the memes of people like going out with their friends and getting margaritas at Chili's, and I fully support it.
Well, because there was that audio from a couple years ago. That guy's like, I just needed like I just need a margarita, a Grand Tequila margarita, and chips and salsa. Because it's true. It's like sometimes you just need especially right now, you need a yap.
This feels really indulgent. Oh, and it's like, okay, we wouldn't have gotten the triple dipper if we weren't doing this. But this is not all that much money to go balls to the wall.
Exactly. I mean, so mine was a little more pricey than yours, obviously. About double the price, actually. It was about $22.
Okay.
But mine comes with a ton of food. It has, obviously, it's fajita veggies, shrimp and rice and beans, and all the toppings that you would expect on tacos.
Chili's isn't skimping on portions.
They really aren't. This is an expectation of you're gonna bring this home energy, and I kind of love that in this economy.
Me too. So, do we do the crispers?
Yes, we should do the crispers. I'm sorry, everyone. Just all our food came out at one time.
Okay. It's not exactly how I remember it, but I have a reason for that.
I was about to say, I have a reason for that too. I saw a TikTok. You probably actually read it.
You do the explanation then.
Okay, so in 2022, before they actually had different, they made their crispers differently.
Yeah.
So it was actually a wet method of dippers. So for those that don't know, there's basically kind of two methods to make chicken tenders.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, we're doing great.
Thank you so much.
There's two methods to make chicken tenders. The first method is kind of what you traditionally see with the so you dip it in flour, you dip it in an egg wash that sometimes you'll add flavor to, hot sauces, or you'll add some seasonings to that egg batter, and then you dip it in flour again, and then fry it. That is called dry, wet, dry method. Okay. Then there is the wet method, which is you would make a batter. So you'd mix together the flour and the eggs into a wet batter, and then dip the chicken into it, and then dip it from that batter straight into the oil. So in 2022, they switched from the wet method solely, which is the batter method, to the dry, wet, dry method. Am I correct?
Yes, and you gave a better explanation than I did, because I just knew they changed the batter. That was a whole thing. But yeah, that was one of the operational cost-saving methods. My memory is flawed, so I know they're different, and they feel different, but I don't know why they feel different. Do you know why they feel different?
I think it's kind of
do you remember
preference.
what they used to be like?
So I don't remember what they used to be like. I will be perfectly honest, I don't remember what they used to be like. But I know from as someone who cooks with frequency and has utilized both methods, you get a better crisp with a dry, wet, dry method. You get better crisp, so it becomes more crispy.
Sure.
But you don't have all those little nodes. I don't know how to describe it. So you know how when you have those little pieces that come off the chicken.
The crispy bits.
Yeah, the crispy
that are,
bits
attached to the main
yes.
thing.
So you don't have that as
the pockets.
Yeah, you'll have those pockets more with a batter method. So that's kind of it's kind of
so it's more pillowy.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Yes.
So I remember them being very pillowy as a kid.
Exactly. And it doesn't make it as crispy. The Tensta doesn't make it as crisp, but it does have all those little nodes where sauce can get into the crannies better and lead to holding. Also, if you dip it in say a ranch sauce, it'll stick better to the little nodes and all the stuff hanging off, sort of thing. Versus this, which is like, I will say this is extremely like saucy.
It is
but
very saucy.
if you notice, like, it's not as textured, or it's like kind of like a different textural situation.
Do you like it?
I do like it. I think you get more of the tender kind of texture. Like, you feel like, you know, this is chicken. Like, where sometimes I think with battered stuff, you question the authenticity of the meat you're eating.
That's good. So you feel like this is good meat, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a chicken tender. And like, you can kind of tell like they made it sort of thing, versus I think before, I feel like I remember it being very cookie cutter.
So I actually think it's really interesting that you bring up real meat. So I was reading the 10K before I came here, as one does. And it was really interesting because Chili's in 2023, their cost of food and beverages decreased by 0.1%. And I know we're talking like small margins,
But like, of how much million?
well, I think a lot of that has to do with how they're ordering, how they're running the kitchen,
Yeah.
and that has helped offset the price of ingredients. So the 10K mentioned that there was a 3.4% increase in the cost of poultry, meat, and produce and other commodity costs for
That
the
is-
food because of inflation.
That is unsurprising, correct.
Yeah, so the fact that they're running very efficiently helps them, you know, continue to have quality ingredients even when the cost of those ingredients are going up.
Okay, that's good. I mean, that's good to hear, because I think one of those things, at least I've found, is that portion sizes are getting smaller if
Yeah.
or quality goes down in order to keep costs down. And that's what I've noticed recently.
And nobody likes the meat that's in quotation marks, you know?
Unless you have a crazy for McNuggets, then
Oh, that's a different thing. All right. So, with that McNugget segue, I am going to take a bite of this Big Smasher. So, the competitor burger is a Big Mac from McDonald's.
Oh, okay. I'm
So
surprised.
this is
it's not-
directly trying to compete with McDonald's.
Okay. So for reference, everyone, she got it's just fries, and then the burger, basic lettuce and cheese and
Lettuce, cheese,
Tomato?
pickles.
pickle. Okay.
No, that's it. And a Thousand Island sauce.
Okay, cool.
So it's pared down. It's better than my usual McDonald's order. That's for sure. It's better than a burger I could do myself with my. I don't spend a lot to make good burgers at home.
Yeah.
So this is better than what I would accomplish for myself.
So I would say this isn't really a smash burger. So from my just staring at it, I wouldn't call that a smash burger, especially if you guys are thinking of, say, one smash burger, to In-N-Out, and then the comparable Shake Shack. This is not a smash burger in terms of those.
This actually reminds me a lot of an In-N-Out burger
Yeah.
because of the sauce, but it's more meat. You want to try?
Sure. I'll have a.
You can just.
Okay, cool.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's good,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So I had a quarter pounder fairly recently because, again, my father loves.
Oh, there's onion
the-
in here too.
Okay. My father loves the macchiatos, and so I just rack up points and you get free things. I would say this is actually more comparable to a quarter pounder.
What's the difference between that and a Big Mac? I don't know McDonald's very well.
So Big Mac actually normally comes with two patties, two
Okay.
buns and two patties. But a quarter pounder, just one burger, fairly thick. I would say probably like a quarter inch, half an inch. And it comes with onions, pickles. It doesn't come with the Thousand Island. I would say that's probably the only difference. And also it doesn't come with shredded lettuce like this does. So this is kind of like a hybrid comparison between the Big Mac and the quarter pounder.
I like it.
It's good. I would say it's solid. Like, I would say you can actually kind of taste the grill a little
I think
bit.
It's really, you can. For $10.99, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm not counting the margarita that I got because I wanted a margarita. I'm counting the base package.
The base package, yeah, $10.99. It was an upcharge of like $3.99 for the marg. But I think that's worth it.
I was gonna get one anyway, so this is the correct thing to do. But yeah, I like it.
But yeah, I definitely think that it's not a traditional smash burger. So I think like when they say the big smasher, it is not a smash burger because a smash burger is very thin and you can get you would have a crust on it. So this is not a smash burger, but this is a good grilled
I was
burger.
gonna say, as a layman, I think I prefer this.
Really? Ooh, controversial.
Because like a smash burger is fine, but if I'm gonna go to a restaurant like Chili's and order a burger, I kind of want this.
I agree. I think that, like, I think people, if you're going to specifically a burger place for smash burgers, it's worth it.
It's also not dry.
Yes.
And I have memories of Chili's burgers from my youth
being dry?
being dry.
Oh, interesting.
And I think this is solid. Beyond
Nice.
that, what do you notice about my fries?
They are steak cut fries. I don't know. I mean, they're normal. Like,
So they're served in the basket and not in like a sub metal tin or whatever. Which they used to be served at Chili's.
I remember that. I remember it used to, like, and it wasn't even like a metal tin with a bottom. It was like a napkin holder where it was a hole on both ends, and you just, because I remember like
yes,
trying
and it
to
had like holes throughout.
yeah, I remember trying to give it to someone and like it fell all out the bottom, and I was like, that was useless.
So it sounds like you found them annoying.
Oh, extremely.
So did everyone working at Chili's. So much so that they were like, what if we just got rid of the fry holders
Okay.
to save money and time cleaning them and put them directly in the basket
Yes.
as an operational efficiency?
So I'm digging into my fajitas. I got the shrimp, and it comes with peppers, onions.
The plate sizzled when you got it,
It did sizzle.
which I remember in my youth because that was like the grown-up thing that the grown-ups got.
Did you see that whole TikTok thing about, like, if someone got fajitas for my birthday, I'd be mad at, while at my birthday dinner, I'd be mad at them?
No, I didn't know this was socially unacceptable.
I didn't know this was socially unacceptable as well, but it's hilarious that it is.
Well, I feel like I bullied you into getting the fajitas, so...
No, I feel like fajitas were warranted. Like, this is one of the things. Like, that's why. To be fair, I did text you, should we be getting fajitas?
You did text me that, and we did get fajitas.
And we got fajitas. So I am putting everything on this.
So we got beans, bell pepper, onion, guacamole, avocado, and cheese on a flour tortilla, it looks like?
Yes, flour. It does look kind
and
of
beans.
handmade, I will say. Like, it doesn't look like they purchased these in bulk.
I think they do.
They may, but like I think it's a
They
higher
look like they're
quality.
good
I would say it's
tortillas.
higher quality than, say, compared to like if you got them like the discount tortillas at your grocery store.
It looks
It's
solid.
solid.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wouldn't say this is like the best shrimp I've ever had. I wouldn't say it's like super like, oh, this is perfectly cooked shrimp. But it's also not extremely overcooked where it's unedible. The peppers, onions are fine. I will say my mom and I have, because so I'm half Mexican, so we have a very high bar, like requirement for rice and beans. Beans are fine, rice is a little hard. So it's not either cooked properly but like, so it's not like the fluffy rice that you want or normally would have. So I would say the rice is kind of meh, like not a fan. They're a little bit hard still in the middle. But the beans, perfectly great. Rest of it's fine. Pico's great. Cheese is great. Guac's fine. And yes, you please can have some.
Thank you.
See what I mean?
It tastes like restaurant rice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but it's like not even like, it's not my favorite restaurant rice. I feel like I've had better restaurant, like Mexican rice.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't compare this to rice you get in a Mexican restaurant when I say restaurant rice, or an Asian restaurant when I say restaurant rice. Talking about like,
Rice pilaf.
yeah, like rice pilaf rice that you get when you order fish tacos at like a white people restaurant. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I definitely agree. I think it's definitely
Where
like
it's like a vibe. It's its own
wild.
thing.
It's wild rice pilaf energy, which I think is just not Mexican rice.
No, it's not. It's not very fajita. So
Well, do you want a tortilla?
I think on a piece of a tortilla. So fajitas, as the core four, as we know this far into our dining experience, they're actually up next on the docket
Okay.
for innovation. So basically, like the Big Smasher, the Three for Me, those have been really big at getting people to the door, which is part of the point. And it's been like an 18-month marketing campaign, apparently, to get to the point that we are now. Fajitas are next. So you might start seeing some changes in line with the things that you're expecting. The big thing is like upgraded proteins. So they'll have a greater variety of the proteins that you can offer and choose for, some being a little bit fancier. And different types of and higher quality tortillas as well.
Okay.
So that's sort of what you can expect next. An interview with the CEO mentions like a new fajita platform. I don't know exactly what that means in the tortillas and the proteins, but that is coming up in the future. I think that's it in terms of food and beverage. I think we're able to turn the recorder off and just be normal and eat. But I think we'll power off here and we'll debrief back in the Mazda.
Okay, perfect.
So our Chili's meal is done. I feel like we should actually talk about payment before we get into our final wrap up because they have the at-table payment system.
Gone is the iPad, literally iPad.
It was huge.
Sized ones that they had at tables previously.
Yes.
Now they've moved it down to like the size of a smartphone, I would say.
It's like a Kindle almost size. It's not a Kindle in practice, it's a Kindle in size.
I would say it's slightly smaller than a Kindle.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit smaller. It took my credit card. You had the option to split the check, which is convenient, and it sent me a digital receipt. I opted it to get texted to me, and it was itemized, and that's very helpful.
That is nice.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a pretty standard experience, but I feel like it's worth noting because I think you can still order from the tablet, but we had really great table service, and the only thing that was not table service was paying, which is actually kind of nice because you don't have to flag someone down for the check and you can just pay and leave whenever you're ready.
Especially if you're having a little drinks and yaps session.
Yeah.
Like, if you're having that little drink with friends sort of thing, you might order another drink. You might just sit there and nurse your drink for like maybe additional hour. And it didn't seem like there was any hate or annoyance with that extra, which is nice, I think, for like a restaurant vibes.
Yeah. So that's sort of the end of the dining experience. Michelle and I talked a little bit on our walk to the car about our metric for how we're going to sum up our restaurant experience. So there are 4 categories, unless I miscounted. Food, obviously.
Yes.
Service. That was the second one.
Yes.
Vibes. Vibes is the third
Vibe
category.
check, yes.
Vibe check. And then price.
Yes. All those 4 things.
So let's start by talking about food.
Okay.
I know that you're kind of the food person out of the two of us, so I'll let you lead the charge there.
Okay, so the food I think is would be middle of the road. I don't think it was the best quality, especially so as I was eating my meal more, like I mentioned it a little, like I didn't think that like the shrimp was terrible. I thought the rice was kind of bad. I thought the beans were really good, and I liked all the side dishes and the tortillas. As I was eating it more, I will say the quality rapidly declined as it got colder. Just so I would say, but I'm not surprised. I mean, it is, as you said, slow casual. Like they're keeping that bottom line, like looking at. So I don't think the quality was super great. At least what I ordered. Maybe I just ordered poorly. With my shrimp fajitas.
Well, you did. We did the big 4, so you had to get the fajitas.
We did have to get the fajitas. But I think overall for everything else, like that wasn't the fajitas, I think was pretty good, actually.
I liked my burger. I thought it was really good. For $10.99, the 3 for me was a really good deal. And I upgraded my margarita, so it was not actually $10.99. There was a little bit of an upcharge. But let's take the drinks, the alcoholic beverages out of that. We'll talk about that next. If I were to get a fountain drink, unlimited chips and salsa, and a pretty good burger, definitely as good as the fast food competitor, if not better, coming out hot with good table service, I think that was very worth it.
Yes, and also I think we discussed this a little off pod, or off mic, whatever, about the triple dipper. The triple dipper, like, appetizer. Like, honestly,
I like the triple dipper.
It was good. It was good. I could see myself just getting the triple dipper.
I would definitely be the type of person to just get the triple dipper
And like a marg.
as the meal. Yeah, a triple dipper and a marg.
I could see that being just like as a meal for a singular person, or maybe to share with like someone, like on
if
a
you're
date
just
or
gonna
something.
do like drinks and apps with friends.
Yeah, just
maybe
drinks
that
and
and a
apps.
dessert if you wanted to hang out for longer.
Yeah.
We did not do a dessert.
We did not do a
Which
dessert.
was smart. I don't think I could have handled a
I
dessert.
literally don't think I could have.
We are very
dealt
full.
with that. Oh God.
And then drinks being the last thing.
Okay.
I thought the margs were great.
They were really good, especially for the price. So I got, again, the margarita of the month. So with the margarita of the month, it is like $6, like for the whole day, like happy hour, breakfast hour. I don't think they open for breakfast, but like yeah, $6, which
Open
is
to close.
open to
$6.
close, yeah, $6, which is and it was good. Like,
It was a
it was
good
quality.
margarita. It had like a nice mango flavor. It
Yes.
wasn't off-puttingly sweet. Like it was margarita sweet,
yeah,
but it wasn't gross sweet.
Yeah, it wasn't like I feel like the sugar hitting my system sweet. It was good, and like this, you could taste the quality difference with like the fresh sweet and sour.
Yeah. Service is next. I thought the service was really, really nice.
Oh, he was great. Like
Our server checked in on us like enough times where I felt like somebody, if I needed something, I could ask for it, but not so much that I felt like I was being too carefully observed. It was the right amount.
I did not feel like I was being hovered over. I do not feel like I was being neglected. And you know, that's the bar.
Something, it came right away. Like we wanted water, we wanted plates. It came so fast, and it was so nice.
Yes, and also the nice thing was like sometimes you don't see this in. I think Katie touched on this a little when she talked about staffing. Mm-hmm. There was like people were helping each other. It wasn't just one guy who was running plates, cleaning tables, and like checking on people.
The staffing felt organized.
It did.
Which is nice because as a diner, you notice when things are disorganized.
Mm-hmm.
Things felt really well run, which was nice. Then next it's general vibe check. So what does vibe check mean? Like atmosphere. Do you go in and you're like, yeah, this is nice. These are slow casual chains, so I know none of them are going to be like boutique restaurant, super catered, unique concepts. But does it seem nice inside? Is it clean? Is it populated enough where it doesn't feel weird?
Exactly. I think it comes down to really that last portion where it's populated enough. Like you don't feel like, am I eating at a terrible place? Am I going to get potentially like disappeared and no one would notice because I'm the only one in this restaurant?
And I was pleasantly surprised because it was probably 75% full in there?
At least. Honestly, it was very full. I was actually surprised about how many people were there. Like, so we were seated in an area where I could see directly into the waiting area, and it was like consistently there's people there.
The bar had people. They also strategically sat tables. There was one section that didn't have anybody. It was a very small section. But I think that was really strategic because then you don't have to staff a server to cater to a couple tables. You can distribute the help better. And it didn't feel empty because that section was strategically left alone. And I only noticed it because I went to the bathroom.
And also with that, though, it wasn't also overly crowded. I didn't feel like it was so loud and so full of people that like I felt like I can't hear myself think.
Or my server's gone and I'm never going to see him again because there's so many people here.
Yeah, I think that. And plus also it was like, classic bar and grill vibes. There was TVs going, specifically Nickelodeon, which was kind of amusing.
And football.
I think it was football more in the bar section. And then the like family section, I guess, it was like Nickelodeon.
The demographics at our specific Chili's was also very mixed age-wise. Like there were some tables of older folks, like they were just there with their friends. A lot of tables with families, so it looked like a parent and kids of various ages. I saw some that were toddlers and younger kids, and a couple tables, especially the ones by us, where it was what seemed to be a parent and teenagers.
Yeah, and then there was also young adults.
There were a lot of young adults. I saw a work group there sitting at one of the big tables.
Then I saw, like, especially next to us, there was a few more, like, young adult tables where it was definitely, like, apps, drinks, and yaps energy.
Yes, and the bar, too. It was the same apps, drinks, and yaps type deal.
Which is great. I think is really nice to see.
I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. I was kind of expecting us to be the only people in this Chili's before I read all the reports that said Chili's was doing pretty well.
Yeah, no, honestly. Like our previous discussions were like, I don't know how populated this will be. And it's highly populated.
It was. So the next thing is price. So in total, we spent... Please hold. I'm actually going to do this before tip. I tipped fairly generously because they were very passive about me being super weird and pulling up a bunch of equipment and shoving things into my backpack. So we are based in San Jose, California. Our subtotal was $60.06 for the food and the beverage, and tax was $5.63. So
Okay.
it's possible that in other locations, with the exception of the promotional material, things might be a little cheaper. I can look into that. But that's what we paid for our dinner tonight.
Yeah, which I think is very, honestly,
We ordered more food than I would have got if we
Yes.
weren't doing this, and it felt a little bit more expensive because we ordered the triple dipper.
yes, that was basically what came down to for me. I'm like, I was shocked
Because that
at
was
how
17
expensive
something.
It was like $17. It was like $18.
yeah.
It was $17.99, and there was an upcharge. I think I mentioned it for bone-in wings. So
Yes.
that would have tipped it over to like, I think it would have tipped it over to almost $20 for 3 things, and with like how much stuff it was, felt ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good price. I think if it was $2 cheaper, I would have been like, oh, that makes sense
Yeah.
for an appetizer. If I think about it as a meal substitute, the 17 feels fair.
Yeah, if it was
But
like,
we got it as an appetizer to share and not as a meal substitute.
but as an appetizer to share, especially with like the 2 of us, no, thank you.
Yeah,
No.
that was a little pricey. I thought my meal, the 3 for me, was incredibly cost efficient and good.
Yes, even with the upcharge. I think even with the upcharge, it still feels value efficient.
Yes. And I think the fajitas as well
Was
seemed
normal.
okay. Yeah, that seemed normal. I
Yeah.
wasn't surprised by the fajita cost.
I wasn't surprised. I
Also,
think
it had a good amount of shrimp for being what
exactly.
it was.
It had actually quite a bit of shrimp.
They didn't skimp on the
They
protein.
didn't skimp on the protein. Well, obviously, it's a fajitas plate, so there's going to be lots of peppers, lots of onions, which I'm not mad at. But I wasn't impressed with the quality of those ingredients, so I was a little more frustrated at the price because of like,
If it were $5 cheaper, would you be as frustrated?
oh, no.
Okay. that's interesting because that's like the cutoff then for what it was.
Because I think with it being over, because that was kind of what it is. If it was under 20, I wouldn't have been upset. Even if that's something, if it was even like $3 cheaper, I wouldn't have been upset.
Okay, so I do have one final thing to talk about.
Okay.
These are some of the risks to the business. This
Okay.
is a selection from the company annual report and a few things that I pulled from different internet articles. So the first is the economy being a big factor to affect the business.
I would agree.
Because if the economy is not doing very well, people are less likely to go out to eat, and we're seeing big fluctuations in the stock market, a number of white-collar job layoffs. The economy is very confusing right now because depending on what metric you're looking at, whether the economy is doing well or not doing well varies.
Yes, exactly. And also, like, the thing is also the changing with the changing economy, it also affects like changing demographics of an area. Like, how far are people willing to go out for this meal?
Yes. There could be a little bit of reverse effects, like we see with the 3 for me, that if they have really good value deals and it feels like it's a great place to get a meal that feels worth it for less, because you could very strategically eat for less at Chili's.
Oh yeah, I could see a family of 4 and like say like teen middle school child and like their parents, and like 3 of them getting the like 3 for 10 sort of thing, or like even just one parent getting the 3 for 10 and then everyone else just ordering a meal, and that would be like extremely cost effective.
Yeah, so it would depend on what the economy does and to what degree, because it's very possible Chili's could be that affordable place with good service where you can have a sit-down meal, but be paying only slightly more than you would pay to go to a fast food place where you
Yeah.
can't sit.
Yeah.
Beyond that, another thing that came up in the 10K is bad PR. And I don't have anything specifically to tie this to, but, you know, with good PR, like everybody doing mukbangs and eating the triple dipper very loudly into a microphone, that gets people through the doors. But if people have a really bad experience, that can keep seats empty, which I think is a big part of our new reality with
Yes.
social media, especially short form video.
I was about to say, I think you definitely see this in like the age of TikTok that we live in, and people will happily, gladly, loudly like critique an experience they've had with literally it could just be like the one server was like gave them bad service, and they will loudly and very upsetly critique the entire corporation, and people will like get behind that, which I think is good when like this has been an ongoing problem, but sometimes can lead to unfortunate consequences.
Well, I think that's one of the big things about investing in service and the employee experience, taking away the things that are just annoying tasks, like pounding a chicken breast, trying to keep employees happy, which seems to be high on the docket. So that's a good way to avoid, at least internally, having this be as risky as a factor as it might be for other places.
Yeah, because I think that's also what you see as I think the kind of the worst PR scandals is when when employees are coming out saying, I had a terrible time working for this business. I think that's when you see those situations where like they goes viral sort of thing. So I think with what they're going for how they're supporting staff, that really does help avoid these risky situations, but it's just the day and age. Like people, maybe something happens, maybe you order from the wrong supplier, or you just have the wrong customer on the wrong day.
That's really true. And I think that brings me to my last risk for the business. And I got this from a Forbes op-ed. Right now, Chili's is having a moment.
They are.
Very positive moment for the business. One that surprised you when we first got into the Mazda to do our initial conversation.
Extremely surprised.
So what that contributor mentioned was there's a risk of failing to capitalize on the momentum of things going well right now.
I get what the person's saying, because the thing is, especially with these big corporations, there has a tendency of this, we're going to go through like, because, like, even if you look at, sorry, I'm going to keep on bringing this up, the espresso martini with the two Vanderpump Rules reality stars. Vanderpump Rules was really in the eyes of, like, the whole world, like, 2 years ago.
Yeah, because of that cheating scandal or whatever.
Scandal.
Yes.
Yes. It was 2 years ago, and they just released the martini earlier this year. And, like, it was probably, like, 2 years ago when Scandival, like, really broke and it, like, shocked the headway. So you can, like, just from that alone, you can see how long it took them to, like, kind of capitalize on the popularity of this. Because, like, if they dropped that the same year or even, like, a couple months
it would be all over the internet.
It would have been all over the internet. But, like, the fact is, like,
I didn't even know that was a promotion.
No, it was a I just know because I'm on that side of TikTok. But yeah, like you can see that, like, literally them not capitalizing on the momentum, because, like, I didn't hear about the triple turbo. Maybe I'm not just on that side, but I didn't know that was a thing.
I think this leads us to my last thread of conversation for this episode.
Yeah.
What do you think Chili's could do to ride the wave, get people coming, either improve the experience or bring people through the doors?
I'm a little torn because I'm almost ready to say that they're okay.
Well, I think that what they should do, well, a couple things. Let's talk about user-generated content. I work in marketing.
Ew.
So UGC, for those of you who don't know, is like if I, as a customer, was taking a picture of my Chili's meal and posting it to Instagram, or taking a video of myself and talking about how much I loved my Chili's experience and put it on TikTok, that's user-generated content.
We love an influencer.
I mean, technically, this podcast is user-generated content because
It
I'm
really
a user,
is.
I'm a consumer, and I am sharing my experience in a way that's largely positive for the brand.
Yes.
So I think that they need to capitalize on UGC to highlight their best elements. And I think in this case, it's service. And then really playing up the deals.
Yeah.
I know that the 3 for me is something I had actually seen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this was in my brain, but I did know about this. I also found out recently about the all month long happy hour margarita.
Yeah, I just literally, when I looked at the menu and when I was looking at happy hour specifically, I saw it. I do agree. I think they do not emphasize the deals enough.
Play that up. Play
Yeah.
the affordable alcohol, because it's not suspiciously cheap. It's not a $1 margarita that makes me feel concerned about what I'm putting into my body.
Yes.
It's a $6 reasonable margarita at a place with good service and fun apps to split.
Yes, exactly. I think if they emphasize that more, and the thing is, it's not like I never watch ads, because I will say, maybe people would make the argument that they shouldn't be putting money into ads because
They should be putting money into influencers.
they should be putting money into influencers. But I think, especially if you watch any YouTube, if you're on any social media site, there are ads. I come across ads. I never see a Chili's ad.
Beyond that, I think they need to get BTS. That's my hot take. I think they need to get people that have such a big following. Like, where's the Chapel Rowan margarita?
Do we think, though? Oh my God.
Where's the Brat margarita?
It would have a cowboy hat. Oh, you could make a Brat. Oh my gosh. That should be their October. That should be their September drink. It should be a green apple margarita.
That's so smart.
And then it'd be neon green like Brat.
I also think when I was doing research for this episode, Business Insider, etc., they do a lot of I tried Chili's whatever new burger, and this is my thought. And Business Insider is great. I love Business Insider, but I'm me. Finding people who you can do that for that will appeal to people who aren't me.
No, so similar series. I think I mentioned it earlier. I don't think you caught the reference, but Delish YouTube
the
channel.
magazine?
Yeah, they're a YouTube channel and a magazine. And they have this person that, again, when my father was like, so you're going to eat the menu like Delish. There was a person at Delish, I don't know, I think she still works there, who used to go to all big chain restaurants and eat the entire menu. Would eat decades or eat most of the menu. She literally ate every single thing that was on the Bible that is the Cheesecake Factory menu. I don't think she did that with Chili's.
So Chili's, if you are listening, but probably not, you should contact us. And if you have thoughts on what Chili's could do to continue to ride this wave of momentum, or anything you're surprised about, you can just text us directly, because the likelihood is you know us personally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If this reaches any level to anyone that I don't know, I will be shocked and amused. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, if we don't know you and you have comments, questions, and concerns, I'm sure the show will have an Instagram page. This is episode 1, and we've done no infrastructure building.
Oh, none.
But there's going to be a way for you to reach out to us. And I'm going to toss it to future me with the outro. But thanks, Michelle, for doing this whole foray into slow casual dining with me. And we did it. We did the first episode.
We did the thing, and I'm proud of us.
All right.
Look at us.
I'll see you for our next one.
See ya.
Before we close out the episode, it's worth noting that Brinker International's performance for Q2 2024 slightly disappointed investors. With strong quarters past, investors expected a stronger outlook for growth, according to CNBC. The company waits to see how the economy at large will affect the business. And with that, this has been Slow Casual. Our show is hosted by Michelle Garlett and me, Caitlin Milliken. I also produce and edit this show. Want to stay up to date with future episodes? Give us a follow on Spotify or find us on YouTube. We'll also have sourcing and show notes there. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, you can reach out on Instagram at slowcasualpod. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.